unveiling the legacy of the great ruler, exploring the Kingdom of Kongo. Welcome to Afro-Canadian TV, where we delve deep into the rich history of our African ancestors. In this video, we embark on an enlightening journey to uncover the remarkable reign of the great ruler, the Mani Kongo, or Mani Kongo. This powerful kingdom flourished from the 14th to the 19th centuries, encompassing a vast lands across present-day Angola, Gabon, Republic of the Congo, and the Republic Democratic of the Congo, also known as Sao Salvador, problem that we have today. Join me as we explore one of the greatest rulers that ever lived in what they called Congo, also known as Sao Salvador, and shed light on the profound impact of exploration, the implantation of Christianity, and the impunity that came thereafter in the heart of Africa, and our shared past on the present, unsolved occupancy of the African treasures in the Western Museum. To navigate the uncertainties of the future, it is crucial to reflect on our past. While it may be tempting to focus solely on the present or the future, understanding the history context provides valuable insight into the challenges and triumphs we encounter today. By revisiting the history, we uncover the roots that shape our identity as a community and honor the legacies of our ancestors. The Kingdom of Kongo emerged as a highly respected and influential realm. Its geographical expanse, spanning several modern-day countries, highlights the vast reach and powerful of his domain. Under the leadership of the Mani Kongo, this kingdom thrived and left a meaningful impact on the region. At the heart of the Kingdom of Mani Kongo lies Mbanza Kongo, the capital city that is situated where the current known as the Democratic Republic of Congo. The capital is Kinshasa. Mbanza Kongo served as the political and cultural hub during the reign of this great ruler in the colonial era and played a significant role in the history of that region today. Mbanza Kongo witnessed the flourishing of artistic and intellectual endeavors, showcasing the rich heritage of the Kingdom of Kongo and its governance. Its architecture, art, and cultural practices resonate with the devotion and the splendor of this influential realm. Despite the passage of time, the echoes of the Mani Kongo's era reverberate through our communities. Today, many of our brothers and sisters remain unaware of the historical forces that have shaped the present circumstances. By overlooking or disregarding our past, we risk perpetuating a circle that hinders our progresses. Acknowledging and understanding our history opens the door to the collective healing and growth. It empowers us to confront and overcome the challenges we face, paving the way for a better future. As we explore the magnificence of this kingdom or Mani Kongo's domain, let us remember the importance of the educating ourselves and sharing this knowledge with others. Let us unveil the captivating history of the Mani Kongo, the great ruler whose influence extended beyond his own borders. Let's embrace and honor the sacrifices of our ancestors. Let us explore this with an open mind, ready to learn. It is hard to talk about Black accomplishment in this part of the world without talking about the history of the great, powerful ruler that influenced our today, the Mani Kongo or Mani Kongo, a ruler like no other. The people of the Congo lived harmoniously. They lived an harmonious life within a well-known kingdom, well-governed, with their great ruler, until there was an explorer who reached the mouth of the river of gold, where the Mani Kongo resided. This Kingdom of Kongo was formed around 14th century, as I said, by a group of clan chiefs known as Mani Kongo, who unified several small chiefdoms through conquest. Its territory ran inland for several hundred miles and included a long stretch of the Great River, which European geographer henceforth called the Congo, from their capital, Banza, Congo. Congo's kings presided over a network of royal kinsmen and officials who administered the provinces and the states, collecting tributes in copper, iron, and slaves. The Mani Kongo was all-powerful, surrounded by elaborate ceremonies on public occasions. He sat on a throne, receiving homage, dispensing justice, and reviewing troops that went to fight beyond his borders. Those who wanted to approach him had to prostrate themselves and crawl forward on all fours. On pain or death, no one was allowed to watch him eat or drink. Whenever he traveled, he was carried on a litter. This kingdom, according to me, if left intact, would have indeed made an united of Africa, the land of our ancestors, the land of the Kush. Before then, in 1482, that when a Portuguese captain named Diogo Cao stumbled upon a momentous discovery while sailing along the African coast, he encountered a colossal river surging into the Atlantic at an astonishing rate of 8 to 9 knots. The sheer force of the current pushed its way into the ocean for nearly 50 miles. This fortuitous encounter would pique the curiosity of the Portuguese explorers, including Vasco da Gama. Regrettably, these incursions would later inflict suffering upon Africans and the people of the Congo, leading to the enslavement and plundering of African resources by the European powers. During this period, Portugal experienced an era of exploration and encountered new foundings that led to its economic growth. Moreover, this expedition facilitated the exchange of culture and enhanced intercontinental understanding. As part of this, Cao embarked on a journey, landing at this river's mouth in pursuit of what? The legendary River of Gold. He established a significant landmark known as Padro, constructed from limestone and measuring 7 feet in height. Adorned with an iron cross and engraved with the royal coat of arms, it also bore a brief inscription documenting Cao's visit. Although the account lacks information about any agreement made with our ancestors regarding the construction of the Padros or the knowledge of the royal coat on it, it is evident that the Muslim population predominantly in the north. They have held monopoly over trade of gold and silver from the river of gold. And the Portuguese objective was to locate the precise river in order to exploit its mineral resources, which they successfully accomplished. Envision embarking on an expedition where you board a ship, you arrive in someone's backyard and plant your pole bearing your distinctive mark, as if staking a claim to a portion of that land without the owner's knowledge. Later, we learned that the most excellent and important prince, as they called him, in the Fortune of African book, the King João II of Portugal, did order the land to be discovered, and these padros to be erected by Diego Cao, an esquire in his household. The name of this river was Nzadi, meaning the great river. So Cao is in the territory of the powerful ruler, the Mani Kongo, whose capital played and extended far inland. Before continuing his journey southward, Cao made an arrangement to contact the Mani Kongo, sending 4 messengers to his capital, expecting to pick them up on his way back home. For an extended period, Cao extended his expedition forward further south, covering approximately 500 miles during that time. He constructed an additional limestone padro. It is noteworthy that this occurred prior to the encounter with the king's knowledge. However, Cao's decision to erect these padros attested to his awareness of the formidable power the Portuguese had at that time. But rather than engaging in combat, Cao employed a diplomatic and religious approaches, using Christianity as the tool for seduction. He went down south and named this last place discovered Cape Santa Maria, on what is known today as Angola's coast. But on his return, he wanted to get back to the mouth of the River of Gold. To his annoyance, he learned that his 4 missionaries had been detained at the Mani Kongo's court. In retaliation, he seized 4 Congolese as hostages, sending a message to Mani Kongo saying that they will be released only in exchange for his own men. He went with them on his return journey to Portugal, and they reached Lisbon. King João responded with a great enthusiasm upon hearing the news about the discovery of the significant African river, the River of Gold. He believed that this river could potentially provide an overland passage to the realm of the Prester John. Prester John was a repeatedly influential priest and king, supposedly a direct descendant of the Magi who had visited baby Jesus. He had defeated the Muslim kings in Persia in the battle, captured their capital at Abatana, and ended to continue onward to Jerusalem, but faced obstacles in crossing the Tigris River. He hoped further that the Mani Kongo might be enlisted as an ally in the enterprise of Christianity expansion. Cao hostages were greeted as honored guests, provided with apartments at the palace, fitted out with the wardrobes of the courtiers, set for studying Portuguese and Christianity, and given tours of the realm. on the assumption that when they were returned to the Mani Kongo, they would speak approvingly of the wonders of the Portuguese civilization. I wonder who these 4 hostages were. I can only imagine them be governors in the administration of the Congo. Can we acknowledge that our own people has played a role in the current hardship faced by Africa? This is evident in our contemporary society, where people are easily influenced and lack the willingness to make significant sacrifices for their loved ones. Diego Cao set up for another voyage after then along the African coast as usual in 1486 and landed the 4 hostages at the mouth of the great river, the River of Gold, the land of the great ruler. And then he proceeded to sail inland for 100 miles south. The 4 Congolese, now Christianized, brainwashed, went to meet Mani Kongo in a plea for the Portuguese favor. The account does not say what happened to the other envoys that were captured at the Mani Kongo's court, spot where Diego Cao had erected his padro. The Portuguese were given a spectacular reception as they landed. A strong 300 warriors, armed with bows and arrows, naked to the waist, painted in various colors and wearing headdress of jubilant. Villagers along the way, ascending to the plateau in the Crystal Mountain, some 1,700 feet above the sea level. They took a journey that lasted 3 weeks to go meet Mani Kongo. Ushered into the presence of the Mani Kongo, the expedition's leaders, Rui de Souza, presented an array of gifts: lace of satin, silk and linen, brocade and velvet fabrics, silver and gold jewelry, trinket and plate, as well as a flock of red pigeons. De Souza explained that the King of Portugal hoped that the Mani Kongo and his people would accept the Christianity faith and enter into alliance with him. Impressed by the presentation, the Mani Kongo agreed to prepare himself for a baptism and sanctioned the construction of the church in Banza. In 1491, Nzinga Nku was duly baptized as King Joao, not as Mani Kongo. If you've been wondered why Africans have white pronoun names, now you know. This is the Genesis. His son Nzinga Mbemba, a provincial governor, followed suit, taking the name of Afonso. He got baptized. Several foundations of stone churches were laid in May of 1491, and the building were completed in 2 months. The Bakongo elite, however, proved unwilling to accept all the structures of Christianity laid by the Portuguese priest, notably a ban on polygamy. To the Mani Kongo and his nobles, a multiplicity of wealth was a measure of their prestige, power, and wealth. Moreover, polygamy was a vital political tool used to forging alliances through marriages. They were also resentful of the priest's insistence on destroying fetishes, idols, and sacred sites belonging to the Bakongo, a religion that they had long cherished. In 1495, the Mani Kongo decided he had had enough. renounced his Christianity faith and banished the Portuguese from Banza. If you know the languages spoken into this region, you'll understand that Congolese don't speak Portuguese, but Angola does. Now you know the reason why. His son, Afonso, remained an ardent convert. He was much admired by the priests who taught him for 10 years. They are waiting to take over. For how long? 10 years later. Yeah, they are waiting. Just there, pausing and waiting. Until this Afonso gained the power, he went on a throne in 1506. He's the best, he's the loved one by the Portuguese priests. He renewed links with Lisbon and appealed for support to establish Congo as a Christian state. As King Afonso I, he adopted Portuguese style of dress. What a similarity of what we are seeing today. Look around and see most African leading and living African and fewer weeks into the Western Hemisphere. They forget about all the values and cultures. They pretend to be more Americanized than even the Americans themselves. Why will the new king adopt Portuguese style and ignore his own? Ignorance. It is ignorance that leads you to think that what someone else is doing is better than yours, forgetting about your own abilities and talent. He went off and introduced Portuguese rules of ethics and protocol, acquired a royal coat of arms, and gave out Portuguese titles to all the elite. Mani Kongo is dead. His son, baptized by the name of Afonso, now is leading. Provincial governors were known as dukes, and military leaders and court officials as counts and marquises. Assisted by Portuguese advisors, he promoted the work of the church. Christianity became, in effect, a royal cult. Afonso also emphasized the importance of literacy, education, and agriculture skills. 100 students were sent to mission schools. New plates were introduced and the city of stone, which they later renamed São Salvador. I got a point. When Africans asked for reparation, the West claimed that it was the past and we cannot ask them to pay for their ancestors' wrongdoing. Yet our people are still paying for their ancestors' unwanted harm with a great percentage. Does that sound good? Does it sound fair? The West museums need to liberate the black deities, which have never been able to play their role in the frustrated universe of the wide world where they are held captive, said the Beninese writer Pauline Joachim. The arrival of the Portuguese in the Kingdom of the Kongo during the late 15th century marked the beginning of a complex relationship between Christianity and the ruling elite. At first, the Congolese king embraced Christianity as an opportunity to strengthen diplomacy and ties, and gain access to European advancement. However, what started as a political move soon transformed into a systemic colonization effort. Unfortunately, with the increased influence of the Portuguese, many of these priceless earths were stolen. These earths deities, artifacts have become the victim of cultural appropriation and exploitation. These artifacts, some of which were intricately crafted and represented centuries of artistic mastery, were taken to Europe and in European museums. They are in private locations. They are there without proper restitution. Let me come. Is the United Nations know about this? Does the African Union have a role to play in this shameful past? Just at least to return what belonged to Africa to Africans. Addressing the issue of reparation has been an ongoing struggle for former Congolese kingdom. Now, multiple countries are still asking for justice and recognition from an ancient division and the looting of their property, as well as the repatriation of what belonged to them. Efforts have been made by various advocacy groups to push the return of cultural artifacts and sacred art craft. However, progress has been very slow, and the lack of comprehensive reparations remain a poignant reminder of the enduring impact of colonization on the mind of the Kingdom of Kongo and its people. Examining Christianity introduction in the Mani Kongo through a colonial lens allow us to understand the deep-rooted exploitation and cultural erasure that occur during that period of history. The Kingdom of Kongo's artifacts and sacred art craft, stolen for the prosperity of the European museum and collections, represent a painful reminder of the past marked by an equal power dynamic. It is crucial for us as global society to acknowledge and work together. Only though acknowledging and rectifying historical injustices can build an inclusive, equitable world that we all want to live in. My name is Duncan, and this is Afro-Canadian TV. Share the information with your loved one, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.